Alright, we got Final Fantasy 15 Part 2. Let's see what they did for the Part 2 banner. So already this is kind of looking kind of weird. I played Final Fantasy 15 and I don't remember Ignis jumping at all. But apparently he has jump stuff, so let's see how that goes. And of course he has his dagger as his STMR. I mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory on that one. He's a brave shift unit, but it's just like, you would think Ignis would be the better of the two, but actually he's worse. So he has a bunch of imbues, that's cool. But he's an ability chainer. Maybe on global, ability chains are a little bit more interesting or better, but on JP, ability chainers are niche. Dagger, why are they not both equal? I don't know why, but his dagger probably says 45%. He's a true duo unit without 8 times cap. He only has 6 times cap, so he's already, you know, not doing too good here. And then for some reason we're going back to the EX2/3 for killers. I thought we were done with this already. We have a lot of units that give 160% killers at this point, so whatever. I just don't understand this unit, guys. Like, the resistance one isn't really that useful. You want to imperil or amp yourself. Just this whole kit is just just not good. So obviously he's a jumper. In his brave shift form. Maybe I'm just not remembering because I don't main Ignis. Maybe he does do jumps or something, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Maybe he has like an unlock that I never even bothered looking at, because all I ever use him for is to imbue Noctis with an element in 15. So I don't know. I really don't understand why he has jumps because I never seen him do it, but maybe he does do it. I don't know. But he's bad. He's pretty bad. True Duwood unit. Doesn't have 8 times cap. Usually you want to be TDH when you're doing when you're being a Dragoon, so it doesn't really make any sense to me. Just not very good. The execution is just not good on this unit. I see what they're trying to do, but it's just not good enough. We just had Noctis. Noctis is still on banner, so I don't know why you would pull for this guy instead of Noctis. Alright, so moving on. Gladiolus TMR is actually not too bad because 40% dark resistance on some pretty decent stats. So finally an okay TMR for once, because remember guys, like a lot of the TMRs recently have been pretty bad to the point where you don't even look at them anymore. It's like whatever. They're like whatever at this point, but that's not the worst. So alright, let's continue on. Great sword. The attack is a little on the low side actually, but it has 1,000 flat attack, but doesn't really make up for it. Because, yeah, this is a little on the low side. They're usually like 230, 240. 224, okay. I'm not gonna look at his vision card, whatever. Here's 150% ice amp. With nothing tied to it, so you can get it at EX1 or even at EX0. He has 200% stone killer for himself, not too bad. 120 times modifier, which is typically reserved for like premium units. He does have 80% amp for himself as well, so he has a secondary burst. He also has a third burst with light, so that's not too bad as well. He does have a cover kind of a thing, but it's not very useful. I was thinking he was just going to be a tank with a DPS, but I guess they didn't want that, so he's like a provoker because of this. So he's like a provoke tank. Really, we don't really use provoke tanks anymore. Usually we can just cover, and our cover tank can be the provoker at this point in the game. Very rarely do we need anything else. He does have counters with, it looks like it just... It just increases his LB damage? Is that the... Okay, it also has a LB fill. Okay, that's a little bit better. The other one's not that good. I don't understand why this exists. That's not a good counter at all. And then a 3-hit move with 40% great sword imperil and a non-premium unit. That's pretty decent. And a 380 times mod, so that's 580 times mod. Not too bad for a non-premium. He's almost as strong as a premium unit, because remember, premium units at this point have 650. So that's not bad. Yeah, he's definitely the better of the bunch. I was thinking that Ignis was going to be the better of the bunch, but nope. He is definitely not the better of the bunch. So for Ignis, I would give like a 6. And then Gladio, I'll give like an 8.5. Because actually, he's pretty good for a non-premium. Doesn't need EX2 for 150% amp. The only negative, like one of the only negatives, is that his attack is a little on the low side. Doesn't really need this defense here. You'd rather this defense just be more attack. And that's about it. I mean, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. TDH unit, of course. So yeah, 8.5. And then we have Edgar here, who was just doomed to fail because they didn't bother increasing the amp turn, so he still has only 2 turns. They didn't bother raising it up by 1 turn, or at least 2 turns. And he gets an LB upgrade. Okay. And I believe he already had this. Autocast at the start of battle. 1 use. It's this one down here. So he has 150% ice and peril for 4 turns. That's actually not too bad. You gotta spend a few turns to get this, but 150% amp, not too bad. 150% in peril, sorry. And you gotta stack this only 300 times. Not good. Even with, it says LB upgrade, but what's been upgraded? That's not very good. And then his Brave Shift from his jump didn't get a crown. So really, all you would use is this, with all the modifiers you get from all the equipment and LB and stuff. I guess you would use the 1 turn jump instead. You would get a small damage decrease, but you would be able to use the amp. I guess that's what they're going with. I would rather just the amp be longer, but there really isn't much to say with Edgar. He was just doomed to fail. I was already expecting him just not to be very good, and here he's just okay. There really isn't much to say because Dragoons are, once again, even though, remember, they got buffed a long time ago with the higher damage when you're TDH and stuff like that, but still not good enough, and they need another change. They need to be 1 turn to jump and 1 turn to land. Wasting so many turns waiting for them to come back down is just too long. And since we're being stuck with two turns with 150% amp, it's not good enough. So, unfortunately, Edgar is just not going to be good. So if you got a whole bunch of him, like I did, on all of my accounts, I've got multiple Edgars. He's just not gonna. He's just a New Vision pool diluter, just like I said at the very beginning when he came out. I was like, oh, this guy's gonna be a pool diluter. Still is a pool diluter. So these crowns are starting to fall off. Like, I feel like they're not putting enough effort into these crowns, guys. They got to put more effort into them to make these units good. But with that being said, guys, thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you. If you want to pull on this banner, pull for Glad. Well, I think there are separate banners actually. You just pull for Gladio. Ignis is definitely not. Speaking of pool diluters, he's definitely gonna be a pool diluter. He's not awful, but he's not good. So, yeah, go for Gladio or just go for Noctis, like I'm trying to. So, see you in the next video. Peace.